I'm Dr. Uche, a practicing physician who's been coaching others to write and publish their biographies since 2013. The first autobiographies I brought to publication were for my dad and granddad, and those took more than 5 years and lots of mistakes. On this channel, I will show you the tools I use to perfect the process so that you can have your biography done in 6 months or less without the delays and mistakes. Remember to subscribe and share with your friends. Let's dig in. In my last video, I seized the opportunity of a very famous music producer who passed recently to ask or rather to discuss the sort of questions you can ask an elderly family member. Okay, and we went through a couple, but today I actually want to continue with the same topic. What other things could you ask an older family member, a much older one, if you're so lucky to have them? Yes, some of us have grandparents. I do not have any surviving grandparents at this point, but some of my age group-ish actually do have such people. They're lucky to have such people, so you can start asking them this particular aspect that I'm going to be talking about in this video. Stay tuned. What am I talking about today? I'm talking about lessons learned. Lessons learned are so important. Why reinvent the wheel when you can learn one or two things from people who came before you? Why is it so important? Because as family, we all have certain things in common. We have ethnicity in common. We have certain challenges in common. We have certain strengths and weaknesses in common. And so there's so much you can learn from your older relatives that could apply to your life. Nature, nurture, right? Some is genetic, some stuff have to do with shared experiences. So we end up often not drastically different from the people who raised us, right? Their habits get passed on to us somewhat, their way of doing things, and so on and so forth. So I'm just trying to say there's a lot we can learn from how they handled certain things, how they learn from mistakes. Is there something a parent decided to stop doing that could apply to you? Yes. Okay, I'll give you an example. I learned very early, my parents actually survived a war, a civil war in their home country, Nigeria. And there are lots of things they learned around that time of the Civil War that continue to inform how they behave even now. Now, I have been blessed. I've never lived through a war, but there are certain things I've learned about how to nurture relationships. You just never know who's going to become very important to you at a difficult time. How to never forget people who have blessed you. So those are some really important things. My mother relied on the generosity of lots of people to go through education. And she never forgot those who blessed her, right? And so little things like that I have learned. So I very much value people who have been good to me. I never forget that. And I teach my children to be profuse in gratitude and kind in criticism. So that's just an example, something I've taken away from my parents' life and lessons they learned. Now, lessons can be positive or negative, right? So you can also take away a lot of knowledge from learning how those who came before you have handled things and the lessons they have learned. So that's a very important topic. Lessons learned, remember, that can be positive, that can be negative. It can be things that informed how they tackle financial, relationship aspects of life, how they chose where they live, things like that that actually can matter even in your life. And remember, we're often not drastically different from the people who raised us. I'll see you in my next video. Be sure to tell me what you think. I always love to hear from you. So leave a comment below. Let me know if this resonated with you.